this class we are going to learn how to paint this painting from start to finish. The name of this painting right here is Drenched, and this painting, what it represents or where the entire idea of this painting came from, all this we are going to watch further. But first, in this class we will start by getting to know all the materials using to paint this painting, and we will do that because it's important to understand the materials that you are using, so that just in case you don't get the same materials, you always can find the alternates of it. So I take that time to explain you about the material, and then we will move on to learning each and every technique used in the painting separately. So I explain you each and every technique separately so that it'll be really easy for you to apply those techniques on the painting that we will learn further. And when I share with you all the techniques separately, I would really appreciate if you would practice the techniques in your sketchbook or any other paper a few times before you actually move on to painting the painting. And I even share the techniques with you so that you can apply these techniques in your own painting to create your own beautiful works of art that can be your own originals. So understanding and practicing techniques separately will be really very helpful to you. So I really recommend for you to do that. And then we will move on to learning how to paint this painting, and I have divided those videos in small parts. When you start the painting, you just don't have to go through a 1.5 hour or 2 hour video to sit there and paint. I have divided all the videos in parts of 15 to 20 minutes to 30 minutes. I have deliberately done that to help you guys to take in little bit of it at a time, so that it's easier for you to really understand what we are doing. Because when I am sharing my work or my classes with you, I will not be satisfied if you are able to only copy my work. My main intention of sharing my work with you is you should be able to create an original after you have learned certain techniques with me, or you have learned the entire painting with me. So that is my whole intention of creating these classes. I would absolutely love it if you could use these techniques that I am giving you and all the painting that you're learning with me, if you could use those inspiration and techniques to come up with your own work. And I really hope that you will enjoy and learn new things from this class. Or if you have any feedback on these classes or any question, then don't forget to leave that in the comment section below. Welcome back to another video. In this video we are going to talk about all the materials used in this painting. So if you have any questions in your mind about the materials, or if you're not able to find any material, you're looking for alternate, you need any suggestions, please feel free to talk to me, as I am there to guide you. So let's get started by knowing all the materials that we will be needing to paint this painting by first talking about the paper that I used to paint this painting. So the paper that I used to paint this painting is this Canson mixed media Imagine paper, which currently I am absolutely obsessed with. I have never been a fan of painting on paper. Canvas has always been my first love until and unless I found this Canson mixed media Imagine paper. It is really smooth, and not really smooth, but it has texture, but the texture is very subtle, very light, and the way acrylic works on this paper is absolutely brilliant. I love the effect and the smoothness the acrylic paints get on this paper. So that's why in this painting as well I use this Canson mixed media Imagine paper, which says that it's multi-technique, so it can be used for any number of techniques. And this is 200 GSM, so even the thickness of this paper is perfect, and it even says that it's acid free. Next, let's talk about the paints that I have used to paint this painting. So I have used basically acrylic paints, and these acrylic paints I have used just in these 3 colors right here. So the first color is this beautiful lemon yellow that looks like this, and the second one is this Winsor & Newton crimson red, which is a beautiful shade, a little darker shade of red color. And the third paint that covers most of the part of this painting is this beautiful deep turquoise, once again by Winsor & Newton, and it looks like this. And along with these three paints, I have used also a white color, and for that I used this Taylor and Brownie gesso, which is one of my favorite gessos to use, and I always use this as a substitute of white paint because I love the consistency of it more than the actual white acrylic paint. And all these three acrylic paints are also just regular acrylic paints. They are not heavy body or any other acrylic paints. They're just simple regular acrylic paints that come in such tubes, and these are 120 ml tubes, but you can get these shades crimson, turquoise and lemon yellow in any brand around the world, and you can get them in smaller tubes as well. If you like starting out with painting and you don't want to invest in such huge 120 ml tubes, you get smaller ones as well that you can go in for. And along with these acrylic paints and this gesso, I have only used water to paint, and there is no kind of medium or slow drying medium or anything like that. It's just plain water. Most of this painting is done using just acrylic paints and various techniques with the acrylic paints, but at some places I have done little bit of shading here and there, like on the shirt or some areas of the face and these feathers. Some of these shading and techniques have been done using these watercolor pencils as well, and the watercolor pencils that I have are by the brand Conte. But once again, go in with the watercolor pencils that are available locally in your country. Like if I would have been in India right now, I would have bought Camlin watercolor pencil because they are locally produced, and so that's why they are affordable, and I know that they are really nice as well. Next, as a palette for my acrylic paints, I use this simple plate. This is a plastic plate that the kids use for eating food or something like that. So I have covered this plate with foil because I'm the most lazy person when it comes to washing palettes and getting them cleaned to start a new painting. I'm the most laziest person to do that. So what I do is I just cover a plate with foil, use that as my palette, and when I want a fresh palette, I just take off this foil, throw it away, and then cover once again the same palette with another fresh foil. So that way I have a new palette without any kind of stress, which I absolutely love. And next, for the brushes, I used these brushes. So let's talk about them one by one. At some places, like around her eyes to make the shape of the eyes, at some places on the hair, I am using these round brushes, these various sizes of round brushes. Don't mind the way my brushes look because my brushes are a bit old. So, and at some places I used these flat brushes right here, and at some places I used these filbert hair brushes which look like this, which are flat from here, and as they move up they kind of get a point or round. And check out this brush, this one is really new, so how amazing it is. And check out this one is used a lot. This one is used really a lot, so it's kind of, it looks old but it works for me. I used this angular brushes at some places, and which brush I used where and how we will watch further in the techniques video. And next I used these pens. These are pigment liner pens by Staedtler, and they come in various sizes right from 0.05 to 0.8. And the bigger the number, the bigger the size of the nib of the pen is. And I used that to outline the entire drawing before I actually started the painting. So you can still see outline at some places like over here and this pen mark. So this is the pen I used to outline the entire drawing. And next pen I used is this Signo White gel pen. This is by Uniball, and This I used to give highlights at just a few places. And last but not the least, I used this masking tape right here to stick on the sides of the paper so that my paper remains in one place while I am painting. And when I am done painting, I get really nice and clean edges. So I hope all the information about the materials was helpful to you. So let's move on to knowing about where the idea of this painting or this entire drawing came from and how to draw the drawing of this painting. So before I share with you how to draw the drawing of this girl, I would like to share with you the story about where the inspiration of this girl or where this drawing came from, how was it born and how did it have its life. You know, since many days there was this thing going in my head that I wanted to create a girl or create a picture that I wanted to represent as my profile picture all around on the internet, on my various social medias, on my YouTube and everywhere. I was having this thought in my head to create a painting that represented me. So I had not yet started with actually working on that or working on a painting that represented me, but in my head I wanted a girl, you know, and around her I wanted things that would represent my world, and my world is all about painting and colors. Of course there is another part of my life, my personal life, where with my kids and all that stuff, but I wanted that girl to represent me and my art world. So these were the thoughts going on in my head, but I had not really started working on anything with that yet. That was just a plan that I wanted to do that. So one day I decided to take a live stream on my main Facebook page, and during that live stream, whoever was watching that live stream, I asked them to post some photographs that I would use as my inspiration to create a painting live for them. So everybody, whoever was there, they were taking a lot of time in posting a photograph, I don't know, and somebody posted a photograph but they posted it at the wrong place and I couldn't find it and all that stuff was happening, and I was kind of losing patience because I had to quickly move on with the live stream and create something. So at that time I just googled just random girl photograph, and this photograph right here that you can see. So this photograph came in front of me, and I just started creating the face of that girl without having any thoughts. So I created this much face only, just this face of that girl, and I created the neck, and then I started playing around with the body. So you know, when I am drawing in my imagination, one step leads to another. So when I am drawing the face in my imagination or in my head, I know that, oh, I want to do this, I want to try this, I want to add these lines, or I want these colors spreading all around from here. So at that time when I had just done the face in my imagination, I thought that why don't I just make this face representing me. And because I wanted to create a girl that would represent me and my work, in my imagination I just had this idea. I would, you know, drop some paints from the top, and then on the lower part I would show as if that paint was just spreading around, and as the paint was dropping, it was just all falling on me and dropping through me and covering me. And in my imagination, I imagined exactly this girl that I thought was perfect to represent my soul as an artist, because this is actually me. I'm like all a lot into my work, into my colors, completely drenched in that. So that was the whole idea, or that was the whole concept when I had designed this drawing, and this is how it came to life. But at that time in my mind, I had thought of, you know, using various colors, like yellow will fall from here and it will just spread, and red and blue and green and all that will fall from here, and it'll just spread. That was the initial plan, but as I moved further, plan literally changed and took its own path, and this entire creation or this entire painting was born. I still have not started using this painting to represent me in all my social media and Facebook and everywhere, because I wanted to create some more options. Let's talk about the basic proportions of the front face first. So to understand the basic proportions, we will take a scale or a ruler. So in my sketchbook, I will start by making one point. That will be our head, and 1.5 inch from here I will have one other point, and from 1.5 inch from there I will have another point, and then 1.5 inch from there I will have another point. So in equal distance I have created 4 points like this: 1, 2, 3 and 4. So the first point and the third point, this will be our head. I'm lightly drawing the circle for the head, and this will represent our head. I have taken this distance as 1.5 inch because that was how much my sketchbook can handle at this point. But if you're working on a bigger sketchbook, or if you have a bigger paper, feel free to use 2 inch or 3 inch or whatever you like, but keep the 4 dots at equal distance. And these 4 dots that we did at equal distance will create these 3 spaces. So combining the first space and the second space, we drew this circle. This is the head of our drawing, and over here this will be the chin. This is the 4th dot. Over here this will be the chin, and then over here we will just join the head with the chin, and this way we get the basic shape of the face of the drawing. So the basic shape is divided in the center with the dots that we created. And let's add some very light lines at the dots like this as well. So over here we created the basic shape of the face, and we created the 3 spaces or the 3 divisions of the face with the dots that we had created initially. And now we will see what will come in each division of the face. So over here I am taking this red color pencil to explain you just that. So this line over here represents the eyebrows. This is not the line where the eyes are. This is the line where we have the eyebrows, and this is the line where we have the nose. So on top of the dot, not on the top of the line, on top of the dot we will have the circle, and this is this circle of the nose, this thing right here. So we have our circle, and we will draw the nostrils like this. So this girl has little bit bigger nostrils that we have drawn, so we will go like this. Okay, so after the nostrils we have this side of the nose. And then we have this line right here. And over here, as I said, this is the eyebrow. Like this. The eyebrows will be like this. Now let's see where the eyes will be. So let's take the center of this dot, the second dot and the third dot. Let's take the center of it. And now let's take the center of this center dot and the second dot. Over here will be the eye. So over here we will have the eye, and the distance between first eye and the second eye is the size of each eye. So this is the size of the first eye. So the distance between this first eye and the second eye will be the size of one eye. So this will be the second eye, and this is the distance. This eye represents the distance between these two eyes. So this is the second eye right here. Here we have the eyebrows, and now we will see how to draw these eyes. So what we will do is, these eyes are not really wide open. They are like long and they are a little closed because we have tried to get the smoky eye for this girl. So we will go a bit down. We will make this inner corner of the eye, and if we were drawing the normal eye we will go like this, but no, this eye is a little closed and with thick eyeliner, so we will go like this, and we will go like this. And when we are painting, we will add the lashes like this. We will watch that further while we are painting. We will add the lashes like this on the lower part as well. And over here we have the eyeball. So these are the eyes of this girl right here. So if you know exactly where the eyes are and if you know the basic proportions of the face, you can anytime change the shape of the eye or nose. You can make the nose wider, or you can make the nose smaller, or like the over here the eyes are a bit closed. So if you want, you can make the eyes of your girl like this, wide open as well. So what you do is completely up to you. If you want the girl with the little closed eyes, or if you want a girl with the wide open eye, that is all up to you. So for this side as well, after we have determined where the eyes should be, we will draw the inner corner of the eye, and we will go out like this. Similarly, we will give her this wing and really kind of closed eye, and her eyeballs over here, and the crease of the upper eye like this on both sides, and of course her eyelashes that we will talk or see how I paint further in the painting. So this is how we make the eyes of this girl, and this is how we made the nose of this girl right here. So where exactly the lips will be? So between this dot and this third dot, between in the center, we will mark a line. We will divide this line into two halves like this. So on this line we will not have the lips, so we will again divide this part that we just created in half. So this exactly is the center of the lip. This is this part, center of the upper lip and the lower lip. So we will write a U over here, write a U, and write a U over here as well. So over here I have made the lips a bit thicker or bigger. If you want, you can go more bigger, or if you want, you can go a little thinner than this. The choice is completely yours. When you draw your girl or when you paint your girl, let your drawing represent your own imagination. Of course, you can copy exactly what I have done over here. Copying is the best form of learning, and to learn something you will have to copy for the first time. But if you're drawing this girl for the second time or third time, just try and experiment with the shape of her eyes, the size of her nose, the size and shape of her lips. Because only after experimenting you will start developing your own personality and style with your drawings. So let's move on with the lips. So the width of the lips, how wide the lips is equal to the inner circle of the eye. So we will make these lines coming out from the inner circle. This is the eyeball. This is the eyeball. We will make these lines coming at the end of the inner circle of the eyeball. So for the lips of this girl, it goes like this. We first made the U and it goes like this. Over here as well. Once again goes like this. And then it comes up, joins this U. Her mouth is a little bit open, so that's why. So this is the upper part of the lip, and then for the lower part, once again leave a little bit of gap over here because her mouth, as I said, is a little bit open, and then write a V over here, and this V will join here like this. And this line right here will be the lower lip. So I want to make the lower lip a bit more plump. So I will make the lower lip line over here and then take this and join this with this side. So over here we get the lips of this girl right here. So let's see what the basic shape of the face is like. So the distance between the lips and the chin in this girl is not much in this drawing. So we will mark the chin right here, take the chin up a little bit and then make this jawline right here, and then we will make this bone. After this jawline we will make right here, and just go up straight from this side and then go out a little bit from the eye. So this is the skull. So this is the skull of the girl. Right here. And if she had her ears as well shown, then her ears would come between the eye and the nose. So this will be the part of the ears between the center of the eye and the nose. But we're not concentrating on making the ears because she does not have ears over here because all her ears are covered with her hair. So let's move on and see where the hair will be. So over here, this is the skull line. So from the skull line, the hair goes at least this much till the top, and on her forehead, the hair comes at least till here like this. So from this point, let's give her hair line over here. And let's start making her hair. So let's start with this. We can see her hair going up like this, and then we will make another line like this over here, and over here we will come like this, and now like this over here, and from here we will come like this. Her hair is going little bit like tied up behind like this. So the upper part of the hair from this side will go back as if it's tied up in the back, and then the lower part will come over here. So basically this was the main idea, that her hair is tied up all behind. So we made these lines and this is how her hair is falling. From here it is falling like this. From here it's going up like this. From here, from this part it's coming like this. This is how her hair is falling. And from this part it's coming like this. From the upper part it goes like this. And then it comes like this over here. Sorry, forgot to tell you about the neck. The neck comes over here. Under the ear, the neck starts right here, and this part starts right here. It does not start from here or here or here or here. It starts from under the ear, the neck. And then over here I really made the hair flow from the sides the way I wanted. You know, there was no plan for these flowing hair. I was just playing with the hair and making it flow just the way I like. So there was no exact way how I'm doing it. I'm just going and playing and imagining how it should go and how it will be and all that stuff. I will show you this portion, what we did on her neck on another page. So we made this girl right here. Over here we have the neck. So over here we have a neck, and on the neck I made such line for her shirt, and this is the part of her shirt, and this is where the buttons come. And over here as well I did this button part, but I did not show the collar on this side because it was all covered, and this is her hair falling. And over here I showed a feather. So for the feather we'll make a line like this. And we will go like this for the feather. I'll take another color to show you. This center line, and then this, and then this falling like this. These are the hair of the feather that will be falling like this. So this was the feather on this side, and over here on her shoulder comes like this. And once again the hair of the feather will come like this. So this is how to draw the lower part of the girl, and this is how I drew the face of this girl with all the proportions. Of course over here we will add some more hair and all that stuff, but these are the basic proportions of the face, and this is how I drew the girl. And after I was done drawing the girl, this is how I added these lines that represent the paint that is falling on her head. And then I just made these droplets of paint like this around her, that represent as if, you know, the paint is falling and she's all drenched in the paint and her painting life. So this is how the droplets will be So this is exactly how I drew the drawing of this complete painting, and once again how I draw the drawing on this final paper, we will watch that in real time in the video. So let's move on to that video. Finally, we are here at the stage where we are ready to paint the painting, where we know about all the materials used and we know the basics of how to draw the drawing in the painting, and we even know about the techniques used in the painting. So we will get started with drawing the final drawing of the painting, and then we will move on to painting the painting step by step. And I have divided the whole process in a few videos, so you won't have to go through the entire process in one sitting. You can just complete 15 or 20 minutes per day, and within a week your beautiful painting will be ready. So let's dive into the amazing and really fun process of painting this painting, which I am really excited to share with you all, and which I really hope that will give you new ideas and inspiration to come up with your own painting. So in this video, I am creating the final drawing of the painting that we're going to paint further, and I am doing that on the final paper that I'll be using to paint the painting. So in this final drawing, I am using all the basic proportions and everything we learned in the basics of this drawing video. So there's nothing new that I have to share with you in this video, as I have already shared all about this drawing in the basics video. So I will just let you watch this video in real time with this music, and all you have to do is just observe carefully how I am drawing using all the proportions that I have already taught you, and try and recreate that yourself. And if possible, while watching this video, keep a sketchbook in your hand or some kind of paper and pencil in your hand, so that while I'm making an eye or drawing an eye, you can instantly try drawing that eye in your sketchbook. While I'm making the drawing of the lips, you can just instantly try and make the drawing of those lips in your sketchbook or on your paper. So that will help you when you actually sit to make the final drawing in the paper that you want to paint on. And when you're making that final drawing as well, keep the reference photo of this painting that I will leave with this video for you to download and take a printout of, and you can use that photograph as a reference in front of you while you're drawing the actual drawing on the final paper of your painting. So I am done with my final drawing, and now that I am happy with the final drawing and ready to start painting over it, before painting I will just outline this drawing with a black Staedtler waterproof pen. Over here I am using my Staedtler black pigment pens, but you can use any kind of waterproof pens that are available around you. But make sure that they are waterproof, because you don't want the black color of the pen to smudge with the painting that you're going to create further, or you don't want the black color to smudge with the paints that you will apply on this drawing while painting. So the brand of the pens is not important, as long as it's a nice brand and you trust that it's going to be waterproof. So that is exactly what I'm doing here. I am just outlining the entire drawing with my black waterproof Staedtler pens. So over here I am mixing my crimson lake and white to get a really beautiful light baby pink that we will be using a lot on the face of this girl that we are painting. So I get started by applying this baby pink on the left side of the girl around the eye, as you can see, and I am just using the paint and spread technique to spread it further. And around her cheek as well I applied this baby pink, and I am spreading it with paint and spread technique. Now under her eye I just applied a transparent coat with that baby pink, and I applied a transparent coat of it under the eye, and same transparent coat I am applying on her cheek as well. On the cheek there was not paint and spread technique, it was just a transparent coat of this baby pink. So around the nose, as you can see, I have applied this baby pink and I spread it really lightly using the paint and spread technique. And the same paint and spread technique we will use around her head area as well. So as you can see, I just applied a thick line of baby pink, and then I am just spreading it nicely with my brush using paint and spread technique. Next, I suddenly take out this deep turquoise in my palette that once again we will use on the face at different areas along with this baby pink. But over here I decided to come back with baby pink and give a little transparent coat around her eyebrow and the left side of the nose. So over here, when I saw that the lower parts of the already painted baby pink are a little dry, I come with my turquoise and apply that on the left side of the head, and again I am spreading it using paint and spread technique over the light baby pink that we have already applied. So after applying that little bit turquoise on the head of that girl, I came to the eyes and I started by painting her eyelid, and for that I applied this crimson red directly that was there on my palette and created a line with it on top of her eye, and then just spread it using some water. And then I once again come back with my turquoise and apply it between that line that we just created and that eye, creating an effect of this beautiful eyeshadow that we need for her smoky eye, although we will add a little more layers to it. Now over here I am mixing my turquoise and crimson red, and with this I get this really blackish deep purple shade, and with this purple shade I outline her eye with a really thick line, and then inside the eye I cover it with a transparent coat of the same dark shade that we just created. With the same dark shade, once again I make her eyeball, and since her eyes are quite closed and dark with a smoky eye, we are not adding any kind of shading to the eyeball. We are just painting it absolutely plain. And next I apply a transparent coat of the shade that we just created under her eye as well, a little bit, as you can see. And now with my round brush I am giving her just a few eyelashes on the upper part as well as the lower part. So here we go with the left side of the smoky eye, and it's looking absolutely beautiful. Next, on the left side of the nose I apply a turquoise transparent coat, as you can see right here. All the same techniques of the left side I will apply on right side of the face as well. So over here I just applied the baby pink that we had created on the right side of her head, and I will just spread it using the paint and spread technique that we had learnt earlier, just like we did on the left side. And once again I am increasing the layer of turquoise on the left side a little bit by applying it on the head and then spreading it with paint and spread technique. And over here I once again come back with my red pencil color from my pencil color case, and I apply it lightly on the upper lid of the eye, giving some really beautiful shading, as you can see right here, which will act as a little eyeshadow on the top of her smoky eye. And then to finish her eyebrows, I first color the eyebrow with my blue color pencil, as you can see, and on top of that light blue color pencil I come back with my dark blue color pencil on top of her eyebrow, and on top of that dark blue color pencil I come back with my dark gray color pencil, and the eyebrows are done. They are not jet black. And once again I come back with my red pencil and give some shading on the left side, as you can see. Over here I decided to take my dark grey pencil and make some of her nostrils, while coming back with my red and doing some shading around her nose as well. So next I decided to continue with the right side of the face, and for that I once again take my baby pink and apply it on the right nose, on the right side of the nose, as you can see, and on the circle, around circle of her nose as well. And then I once again spread it using my paint and spread technique, and with that paint and spread technique only I just go on top of her eye as well. And the same thing I do to paint her cheeks as well. I paint the baby pink on the right side of her cheek and just spread it around, not going completely dark on the center of her cheek, making her cheek to stand out. On the right side of her face, as you can see in the reference photo that I will provide for you somewhere down to download and have with you. If you see in the reference photo, the right side is much more darker than the left side. That's why the pink portion of the right side will be darker, and on the top of that, the turquoise that we will do, even that will be a little more darker or much more in quantity than what we had on the left side. So the similar paint and spread technique we applied on the lower part of the cheek as well by applying the baby pink and just spreading it using the technique. And now on the lower part, which was very dark on the reference photo, I decided to take just this turquoise blue directly, not any pink under it, and applied this turquoise blue all around the right side of the lip. And using the paint and spread technique, I am taking it up on parts of the pink as well. But while doing this, just make sure that the lower pink part is absolutely dry when you're taking this color on top of that pink. We don't want this turquoise to blend with the pink. We just want it to look as a layer on top of the pink, the pink just peeking through this turquoise paint, and that looks absolutely beautiful. So we bring this turquoise till the chin, and at the chin area where the turquoise is ending, I just add a little bit of pink and then spread it once again using a paint and spread technique. With that pink, I go on the left side of the chin as well, that was not yet painted, and paint it very lightly using the paint and spread technique because I'm lighter than the right side. Next, I take the turquoise a little bit further on the right side, and for that I paint with this plain turquoise with no white or anything added. I use this to paint on the right side of the nose, and this lightly goes all around on the eyes as well. And then I'm just spreading it once again using my paint and spread technique. So this is the reason I asked you to practice the paint and spread technique or the transparent coat technique a lot more, because these two techniques make up almost the entire painting more than any other technique. So as you can see over here as well, I added some turquoise on the right side of the cheek as well, and I'm just lightly spreading it. And the same thing I am doing on the right side of her head as well, using the paint and spread technique to make it match the entire right side, which is the darker portion or the dark side of the face. Next, I mix some more turquoise and my crimson that is there on my palette, and with that dark shade paint her nostrils a little bit more darker, and then at the lower part of the nose I add a little bit shading using transparent coat and my turquoise. So over here I felt as if the dark portion should be increased a little bit under the eye of the left side, so I'm just giving a little bit more transparent coat over there using just my turquoise. Now it's time to work on the right side of the eye, and for that as well I mix some crimson and turquoise that is already there in my palette and create a thick outline with a winged liner, as you can see, and just a plain coat of it I apply on the eyeball as well without any kind of shading for the eye at all. And with that itself I create a crease that is there on the upper eye, and on the remaining portions of the eye with the same color I apply the transparent coat to give that dark smoky effect that we want. Then I take my turquoise and apply it on the lower part of the eye, spreading it with the paint and spread technique. And then I mix a little bit of that dark color that we have created on my turquoise and apply that on the right side of the nose, and that dark shade I just carry it forward using the paint and spread technique on the upper lid of the eye, of the right eye, as well as on the lower part as well, and play with it around up the right side of the nose as well, as you can see right here. Increase the dark portion a little bit more on the right side of the cheekbone or between the chin and the cheek. I apply a transparent coat of that dark color, and over here with the same dark color I am creating some eyelashes on the right side as well. Next I take my red pencil color once again and give some more shading with it on the left side, as you can see right here. And once again I create the right side eyebrows as well, first with the dark blue pencil color and then coming back with my dark grey pencil color as well. And then I use that dark grey pencil color to give a little bit of blending or a little bit of shading on the right side of the eye as well, and some dark blue shading here and there, as you can see. And next, on the left part of the upper lip, I apply some dark turquoise, which is the turquoise with a little bit crimson added to it, and I am just spreading it on the upper lip using paint and spread technique, but once again taking care the shape of the lip, the way the lines of the lips will go, and not just anyhow. Next, I take some turquoise and apply it on the right side of the upper lip, just creating a transparent coat of it, and the same transparent coat I apply on the right side of the lower lip as well. And on the center, I once again make the V that we had created with the crimson a little bit more darker by applying the turquoise transparent coat over it. Next, I once again create the darkest shade of our painting, which is by mixing crimson and turquoise, as you can see right here. And this dark shade we will apply on the center of the lip. So we start by applying it on the left side of the lip, as you can see, and then continue the little open area of the mouth, while giving some transparent coat of that on the teeth, but on rest of the part of the open mouth we are just applying plain paint of that dark shade, and then we just continue with that dark shade on the right side of the center lip as well, and then create a little transparent coat of it on the right side of the lower lip, as you can see right here. With this, we get done with how to paint the lips, and let's move on to painting her neck. For the neck, we will be using the same shades that we used for the face, which is the light baby pink that we had created by mixing crimson and white. And then on top of it, we will go with the turquoise. So let's get started with the light pink first. So even while painting the neck, I continuously have this reference photo in front of me, which helped me determine that where the shadow area is and where the light portion is. So the shadow areas will be covered with turquoise, and the light portions will be covered with this light baby pink that we created. So I start by applying this light baby pink on the left side of the neck and spread it using paint and spread technique, as you can see right here. And I do the same on the right side of the neck as well. after I am done painting the pink portion of the neck using paint and spread technique, which is the first layer of the neck, on top of that we will come back with the turquoise and using this again same paint and spread technique cover the darker portions. So for that I start with the little dot on the lower part of the neck and spreading it with a transparent coat. I go up on the left side as you can see, and I created that line that we have, that bone line that we have on the neck. And on the right side again I apply my turquoise and once again spread it with paint and spread technique only till the half portion, because the right side is the darker portion compared to the left one. So even the neck will be more on the darker side on the right side compared to the left. So to follow exactly where I am applying the dark and then spreading it, pause this video wherever needed so that you can exactly see where I am using the dark portion to get the shape of the neck or to get the bones of the neck. And you can repeat the same while you are making this painting for yourself as well. So let's get started with the hair first. So for the hair, the first layer is the middle tone, the second layer is the darkest tone, and the final layer will be the highlight. So let's see how we do that. So I get started by painting on the right side of the hair. As you can see over here, I have my filbert brush in my hand, and with that filbert brush I create the strokes of the hair using my deep turquoise paint by Winsor and Newton, and I create those hair strokes exactly the way the hair is going, keeping the reference photo in front of me. So I'm just painting the strokes of the hair the way hairstyle or the hair is going in the reference photo. After painting a little bit of middle tone on the right side, I decided to add in some darker tones to the hair, and for that I mixed my crimson lake that was already there in my palette along with my turquoise, and with that darkest shade I create some dark strokes, and even those darkest strokes, as you can see, are painted exactly in the way the hair actually fall. I'm not just painting anyways, I'm just really taking care that my lines of the hair or the strokes of the hair go exactly in the directions where the hair I think is going. If the hair is going on the back side, my strokes and lines will go on the back side of the head. If the hair is falling down, my strokes or line of the paint will fall down. So that will give kind of a realistic look to the hair. So I completely covered the right side of the portion with the dark strokes as well on top of the turquoise. And over here you can see the glimpses of turquoise peeking through the dark portion, which is giving the hair a kind of realistic look. And the same thing I continue on the upper part of the head and on the left side as well. Over here I am just playing with my dark tones and my turquoise on top of the hair. The absolute top portion of the hair was very dark, so I just directly covered it with the dark portion. But with the same brush, without even washing the brush, I take turquoise, paint some more hair on the lower part of the top head, and once again going exactly in the direction where I think the hair is falling. And then on the top part as well, I once again come with my dark paint, which I created by mixing crimson and turquoise. Created some hair on the lower part of the hairline. And with the turquoise itself, I continue creating the left portion of the hair, as you can see. Over here I suddenly remembered that I forgot to paint her ears that are peeking just a little bit from her hair. So just I quickly decided to do that by adding just my baby pink over there. Then I'll continue once again with painting the hair. So as you can see, after putting a little bit of turquoise on the left side as well, I come back with my dark shade, which is created by mixing crimson and turquoise, and with that dark shade I am creating some more hair on top of the turquoise. Once again, absolutely in the direction where I think the hair is falling, like on top of the head where the hair is a little puffed up, I'm just going a little bit round over there. And as I'm creating all these hair falling down on her shoulder, even those are going round and round exactly the way I showed you in the techniques video, how I am doing with the round brush. So in this way I continue playing with my hair with the turquoise and this dark shade, creating exactly the look that I want. So now the hair is not complete yet. There is much more that is to be done for painting the hair, but suddenly I decided to go towards the background and play around a little bit with the background over here. So for that, first I cover all the lines that we had created earlier that represent the paint falling on top of this girl. I cover that with the darkest shade that we create by mixing crimson and turquoise. And around these dark lines that we just created, I am applying this turquoise and just spreading it using paint and spread technique. And this is just, my way of representing that all the paint is falling down on me, and it is just spreading everywhere, creating those clouds of paints as well, while that paint is falling down on me and making me all drenched with it. And I continue with the same all on the left side of the painting as well, also on the right side of the face as well. So over here, I suddenly come back with my Signo White gel pen and apply some lines to create highlights on top of the left side of the hair, just a few highlights. So for that, I just apply some white lines with the Signo White gel pen, and when those lines are still wet, I just spread them using my fingers, as you can see. So over here, while spreading the highlight or while creating these highlights using these pen over here as well, you just have to take care that you are creating these in the direction where the hair is flowing and not just straight lines or just random lines. So coming back to my background, all the flowing color that you can see around me that we had created at the time of drawing, I just paint it with plain turquoise paint and nothing else, no shading at all. So we are not adding any shading on these big drops of turquoise paint that is spreading around this girl, but we will create that cloud of paint spreading that we did on the top of the background over here around these droplets as well, using our paint and spread technique. So over here I'm not done with the hair and the background completely, but I decided to get started with the shirt before I move any further with the hair and background. So I have just covered the left side of the shirt using the transparent coat technique, and then I move on to the right side where I apply just crimson red on the left side of the right side of the shirt, and I am just spreading it using paint and spread technique, as you can see right here. And I once again come back with the paint and spread technique that I just apply on the collar of the left side and on the little portion of the lower part of the collar as well. Next I take this dark blue pencil color, and with this we will create texture all around on her shirt. But for this I would like you to make sure that the lower portions that we just painted with the crimson red should be absolutely dry before you come on top of it with the pencil color and give some texture. So I start with the collar and start making some checks using this pencil color, using the techniques that I taught you in the techniques video. And then create some straight lines very lightly on the left part of the shirt. Once again I am giving that lined texture on the left part, as you can see, but very light texture, not dark at all. And that little triangle kind of portion on her shirt on the left side as well, I cover it with the sleeping lines, giving some more texture, as you can see. Doing a little bit of same on the right side as well, and then continue giving texture wherever I feel I should do in this shirt, or wherever I think it should be, with the same dark blue pencil. Next I decided to paint her feathers, and for that I decided to take this beautiful lemon yellow color in my palette, and I mix a little bit of white in that lemon yellow to get this beautiful light lemon yellow shade. And I apply this light lemon yellow shade all around on the feather, and I apply this lemon yellow shade on the center part of the feather and spread it using paint and spread technique on the outer portions of the feather that is there on the shoulder, on the left shoulder of the girl. And I do the same on the right side feather as well, that is falling down through her neck. I take the darkest color that we have used in this painting, which is by mixing turquoise and our crimson lake, and which was already there in my palette, and make the center line of the left feather as well as the right side feather, as you can see. And then using my turquoise and adding a little bit more water to it, creating that thick turquoise semi-transparent, I make the little hair of the feather that you can see right here, and I am painting them exactly in the direction where I think the hair will fall and not in just any random direction. And I do this on both the feathers, as you can see right here. So when I see that all the paints on my feather is dry, I come back with my dark blue pencil color and create some more lines that represent the hair of the feather, which is like kind of giving it a more realistic and a more cleaner look. And once again, I do this on both the feathers. This we are done with painting the shirt and the feathers of this girl, and we will jump back to finishing with our background and the hair. So for finishing the background, I take my angular brush and around all the drops of paint, all the big drops of paint that are falling behind this girl, I will use the splatter techniques and splatter just the turquoise paint all around those big droplets, as well as the straight lines of paints that are falling on top of her head, as you can see right here. So adding these splatters around the top of the lines that are falling and around the big droplets that are behind her, they are giving that illusion of that paint dripping and spreading all around. It is making that vision all the more realistic, and it is giving that interest in the painting that I love, that the use of textures in the painting bring. You can use any kind of textures in your painting. I used this splatter, but it's not important that you use this as well. You can go in with any kind of texture that you like. You can go in with splatter like this, or you can go with checks, just creating checks around those huge drops of over here. I am just making a few more droplets here and there and playing around with my painting till the time I feel that I should stop. Over here, I thought that I was done with the background, so I moved on to get done with my hair. I'm so sorry over here because the little portion of painting the hair over here did not record, but I will explain you exactly what I did. So I just used my round brush and painted some hair like strokes that are coming on top of her face as well, and I increased some more hair falling down on her shoulder from her head on the right side, as you can see. And while painting it, I used the technique that I used to paint the hair using my round brush that I have shared with you in the techniques video. But adding these falling hair that are falling on her shoulder on the right side really increased the volume of her hair, which looked beautiful, and I really liked this look of her hair falling or flowing on her face. So I just created a little more hair using the same techniques that I shared with you while we were painting the other parts of the hair. So with this, we are done with painting this painting, and we will end this painting by putting a little signature and the date when you created this painting. I really hope that you will share the process shots of this painting while painting it yourself with all of us. I really can't wait to see what you come up with and your final pieces. I have had a lot of fun looking at what other people have created in their final pieces in my other classes. That's my favorite and most satisfying thing to do, like when I see you coming up with your paintings, learning from my videos, and when I see that my classes have been helpful to all. And once again, I repeat this again and again, I know, but this is very important to me, that if you have any questions or problems, if you need any guidance or any help, just remember that I am there to help you and I am always there to guide you. You just need to drop in a question